This episode of Into the Music is brought to you by Coda Music. It's a great way to discover new music and listen to all of your favorite artists for free. The link is in the description. In today's episode we're going to explore Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne began his career as a near-novelty, a preteen delivering hardcore southern hip-hop. 3 years of maturation and prolific output, during which the delivery of his humorous and wordplay-heavy rhymes gradually changed from ringing and pugnacious to stoned and rasped, he developed into a million-selling artist with a massive body of work, one so inventive and cunning that it makes his claim of being the best rapper alive worth considering. Wayne debuted at the age of 12, received his first platinum certification only 5 years later as a member of the Hot Boys, and immediately thereafter became a formidable solo artist with the Block Is Hot 1999, his first of 12 top 10 albums on the Billboard 200. During a period of constant output entailing not just successful full-lengths but also reputation-building mixtapes and featured appearances on pop hits like Destiny's Child's Soldier 2004, he reached mainstream superstar status with the Carter III 2008. A triple platinum blockbuster, it spawned the #1 pop hit Lollipop and the #6 follow-up A Milli, and netted 3 Grammy Awards, including Best Rap Album. Throughout the 2010s, despite numerous legal and creative battles, Wayne continued to be a regular presence on the upper reaches of the charts with albums such as The Carter IV 2011 and I Am Not a Human Being 2 2013, additional smash singles as a headliner, and a continually lengthening list of collaborative hits, including the multi-platinum Sucker for Pain for the Suicide Squad soundtrack in 2016 and the one headlined by DJ Khaled in 2017. Since the latter hit, Wayne has topped the Billboard 200 with the consecutive LPs Tha Carter V 2018 and Funeral 2020. Born Dwayne Michael Carter Jr. and raised in the infamous New Orleans neighborhood of Holly Grove, Lil Wayne was a straight-A student but never felt his true intelligence was expressed through any kind of report card. He found music was the best way to express himself, and after taking the name Gangsta D he began writing rhymes. Combining a strong work ethic with aggressive self-promotion, the 11-year-old convinced the Cash Money label to take him on, even if it was just for odd jobs around the office. A year later, in-house producer Manny Fresh partnered him with the 14-year-old BG and dubbed the duo the BGZ. Although only BG's name appeared on the cover, the 1995 album True Story has since been accepted as the BGZ debut album both by fans and the Cash Money label. The 1997 album Chopper City was supposed to be the follow-up, but when Wayne accidentally shot himself in the chest with a 9mm pistol, it became a solo BG release. That same year, he officially took the moniker Lil Wayne, dropping the D from his first name in order to separate himself from an absent father. He joined BG, Juvenile, and Young Turk for another fresh project, the teen hardcore rap group The Hot Boys, who released their debut album, Get It How You Live, in 1997. 2 years later, Cash Money signed a distribution deal with the major label Universal. Mainstream distribution helped the year's Hot Boys album Guerrilla Warfare to reach the #1 spot on Billboard's top R&B/hip-hop albums chart. In 1998, Lil Wayne appeared on Juvenile's hit single Back That Thing Up, or Back That Is Up as it appeared on Juvie's album 400 Degrees. Wayne launched his solo career a year later with the album The Block Is Hot, featuring the hit single title track. It went double platinum but the rapper was still unknown to Middle America, since his hardcore rhymes and the rough Cash Money sound had not yet crossed over. His second album, Lights Out 2000, failed to match the success of his predecessor but it did go gold, and with an appearance on the Big Timers hit single #1 Stunner, his audience was certainly growing. While Fresh was primarily responsible for launching his career, Wayne was now much closer to Fresh's fellow Big Timer and Cash Money CEO Birdman. When Juvenile left the label, Wayne, or Birdman Jr. as he was calling himself, showed his allegiance to his CEO by releasing an album with a title much hotter than Juvie's breakthrough effort. 500 Degrees landed in 2002 and while it went gold, rumors began flying about Cash Money's financial troubles and possible demise. The rest of the Hot Boys had defected and Wayne's planned 2003 album was scrapped, coming out instead as an underground mixtape called The Drought. Wayne became enamored with the mixtape world after The Drought drew so much attention from the hip-hop press. He used these underground releases to drum up anticipation for his next official album, the breakthrough effort The Carter Released in 2004, the album seemed familiar on one hand with Mannie Fresh's production, but the Wayne on the cover was a dreadlocks surprise, and the rhymes he laid on the tracks showed significant growth. His marketing skills had become sharper, too, and it was no mistake that the album's hit single, Go DJ, mentioned hip-hop's greatest tastemakers right in the title. It reached number 5 on the singles chart, and with a guest shot on Destiny's Child's number 3 single Soldier, Wayne had officially crossed over. On the flip side, his street cred was supported by a slew of mixtapes released in 2005, including the popular titles Dedication with DJ Drama and The Suffix with DJ Khaled. Cash Money's future was no longer in doubt and traditional music business rules no longer seemed to apply, as tracks were leaked onto the internet and various DJs' mixtapes. Get Something was another bold move, as a Universal-funded video was made without the track ever seeing official release. With his alternative marketing scheme working in overdrive, the 2005 landing of the Carter II was a major event, selling over 250,000 copies a week of its release. Fireman and Shooter with Robin Thicke were released as singles, while the album, which for the first time featured no Mannie Fresh productions, went platinum. It also introduced his Young Money posse, with appearances from Currency and Nicki Minaj, and initially came with a bonus disc featuring Wayne's greatest hits Screwed and Chopped by Swishahouse DJ Michael 5000 Watts. A year later he collaborated with Birdman for the Like Father, Like Son album, featuring the hit single Stuntin' Like My Daddy. His mixtapes were still flooding the underground, including the stunning Dedication 2, which came with an iconic image of the rapper on the cover plus the much talked about track Georgia Bush, a venomous response to President George W. Bush's handling of the Katrina disaster. With no official follow-up to the Carter II in sight, numerous collaborative tracks kept the rapper in the mainstream with Gimme That by Chris Brown, Make It Rain by Fat Joe, and Duffel Bag Boy by Play a Circle becoming 3 of the biggest hits. The Carter III was promised for 2007 but didn't arrive until a year later, setting off Wayne's reputation for delayed releases. Part of the problem was the unauthorized leaks of the album's tracks, something combated by the official downloadable EP The Leak, released that same year. Preceded by the number 1 hit Lollipop, the Carter III arrived in May 2008, selling more than 1 million copies in its first week of release. An appearance on Saturday Night Live and a handful of Grammy Awards, including Best Rap Album, spoke to Wayne's mainstream acceptance. He also performed at that year's Country Music Awards with Kid Rock, but rather than rap, he played guitar. The guitar playing was part of Wayne's new involvement with rock music, including his help in signing Kevin Rudolph to Cash Money plus an appearance on Rudolph's massive hit Let It Rock. His planned rock album was previewed with the 2009 single Prom Queen, but when the album failed to meet its promised April release, the music press began to portray the rapper as the king of missed street dates. Unconcerned, Wayne forged ahead with his Young Money crew, releasing the underground mixtape Young Money is the Army, Better Yet the Navy, the above-ground single Every Girl, plus the official album We Are Young Money that same year. His rock album, Rebirth, finally appeared in early 2010, and coincided with Wayne being sentenced to a 9-month prison term for criminal possession of a weapon. The rapper may have been behind bars on Rikers Island, but that didn't stop his 10-song EP, I'm Not a Human Being, from seeing the light of day in September 2010. The Carter IV was finally released in 2011 along with its lead-off single 6 Foot, 7 Foot. The album reached the top spot on the Billboard 200. In 2013, unfazed by criticism that a controversial verse he contributed to Future's Karate Chop, he made a reference to Emmett Till, a black teenager gruesomely murdered in 1955 by white men, was in poor taste. Wayne released a second volume of I Am Not a Human Being. The album debuted at number 2 and featured the singles No Worries and Love Me. A sequence of singles intended for the repeatedly delayed The Carter V ensued, with Believe Me, featuring Drake, in addition to Wayne's stockpile of certified platinum hits. Another track, Nothing But Trouble featuring Charlie Puth, was released in 2015 as a contribution to the soundtrack for 808, the movie. That same year, to make up for fan disappointment over the Carter V's delays, Wayne self-released Sorry for the Wait too. By 2016, Wayne had become embroiled in a legal battle with Birdman and Cash Money Records, further complicating the fate of the Carter V. These continued delays prompted the release of Free Weezy album, Yet another mixtape to tide over his fans. By the end of the year, he published a memoir about his time spent at Rikers Island Gone Till November and scored another hit with Sucker for Pain, a collaboration for the chart-topping Suicide Squad soundtrack. The all-star track topped the Billboard rap chart and rose to number 3 on the R&B/hip-hop chart. DJ Khaled's and the One became one of Wayne's biggest collaborations the following year, topping the pop chart on its way to quintuple platinum status. Primarily collaborative work continued well into 2018, including a contribution to the future-driven soundtrack for Superfly, until Wayne finally issued the oft-groomed The Carter V, the chart-topping finale to the Carter series. After joining Blink-182 in 2019 for a co-headlining tour and mashup single What's My Age Again/A Milli, Wayne completed album 13, Funeral. Featuring a broad range of guest MCs, J-Rock, Lil Baby, and XXXTentacion among them, the set was issued in January 2020 and entered the Billboard 200 at the top. In July of that year, Wayne re-released his 2015 mixtape Free Weezy album as FWA. The project had seen an exclusive release on only one streaming service 5 years earlier, but the wider release was markedly different, with some tracks omitted completely and new mixes of songs that formerly included uncleared samples.